Life is a sacred journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Micheal Pope.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. My name is Micheal Pope, and I am the host of Life is a Sacred Journey. And today we are 50th something pondering. Let me tell you a little bit about Life is a Sacred Journey so you'll know why you are here and why you should hit that share button. We began as a podcast on Blog Talk Radio over like a decade ago. And then during the pandemic, we realized that it wasn't enough and that we needed to go visual through Facebook and Zoom and all of those kinds of things. So we used that technology and changed the format from Friday evening to Friday morning at 8 a.m. And then Felicia does her magic and then sends it out through all the places where Life is a Sacred Journey can be found. And we can be found on YouTube and Instagram and all these different places. And sometimes she pulls little pieces of stuff out. And those become sort of our TikTok moments or things that we put out there in little snippets. And those are mostly our whys and what ifs, so that it gives people an opportunity to ponder those things. And then we have guests. We have the opportunity to be partners with a couple of companies, publishing companies, that their authors come through Life is a Sacred Journey. And so we share their books, and I have the honor of reading them all and then kind of bringing them in and asking questions so that you might benefit from their life journey and from things that have happened to them in their lives and how they have overcome. Felicia is our wonderful content producer person that you'll hear me talk about a lot. And then there's this family, this virtual family that if you start coming or however you respond to Life is a Sacred Journey, you will become a part of. And so we thank you here at Life is a Sacred Journey for coming and being a part of our lives. And we ask that you just share it. We're growing slowly, drip by drip, but we thank you for every share and for everyone who has viewed any of our videos. So let's get in to this Friday morning. We do have a wonderful lineup of guests coming up. The summer, August is one of those lazy, crazy months. And so we have Carolyn Brent that's going to come and tell her story. It's a fascinating and engaging story about scamming, honestly, and she'll take us into that journey and share with us. We will also have a group of other folks coming back to share their information and where they are now and how they are continuing to impact the world of caregiving. And then you'll continue to have my ponderings here and there, and we're going to continue to grow. We're trying to figure out ways that we can do this better and how we can impact your lives in a positive way. If you're a caregiver, somebody who's aging in place or aging around in the community, that we get this word out. So again, hit the share button, like us, and become a follower so that Life is a Sacred Journey can continue to grow. I want to talk about at this moment, and we're going to bring some people on as we get closer to the date of this event, the 14th annual African American Alzheimer's Forum and the Role of Care Partners. This is presented by the Alzheimer's Association and the Black Alzheimer's Association Advisory Council, which I am proudly a member of. And this is going to be on Saturday, September 30th, 2023, from 8:30 to 2. It is absolutely free, and it's going to be at the Ed Roberts campus at 3075 Adeline Street in Berkeley. You do have to register. Felicia will get all the information and put it up there for you, and we will have someone other than myself from the Black Alzheimer's Association Advisory Council to come and talk about it. Again, Alzheimer's is not a black or white. It doesn't discriminate. It goes across all barriers, even age now. But at the end of the day, the numbers for Black Americans is much higher. The numbers of individuals being diagnosed and predicted to be diagnosed are higher. And so we just want to take this moment and again, allies, colleagues, friends, family, because we are a community in this work, come out. There's going to be community resources. There's going to be ways that you can learn. I am one of the presenters. We'll also have Charles Wyndon, physician, MD, who is the assistant professor of neurology for the UCSF Memory and Aging Center. So this is what the flyer looks like. Put it on your calendar now. You'll hear more about it between now and September 30th. It is the 14th annual African American Alzheimer's Forum, and it's the role of the care partners. And we're going to have a panel. We're going to have all kinds of things, lunch, and it is free. There's going to be a continental breakfast, lunch provided. We're looking for health screenings, resource tables, a raffle, and it looks like entertainment by the trifecta trio. So come on out and learn more so you can take it back. I've actually reached out to a group of family members that I know and said, be a part of this. And we're not able to stream it. It is an in-person event. But yes, let's get you enrolled so you can participate in that and learn and take it back. I wanted to also have a big shout out to all of those out there that are suffering with cataracts. I am one of those individuals, so I'm suffering with them. I want to just shout out to you all because I know what you're going through, but I have heard and now talked to about 6 people who have told me that I'm moving into the wonderful season because they're going to get fixed. I'm meeting with the person that's going to do it in September or sometime, who cares, but soon. And so I'm very excited. So a shout out to all of you out there who are experiencing this journey of cataracts, but shout out to all of you that have already experienced the surgery or whatever procedure. And thank you for sharing your stories. Those of you that have shared them with me, I am looking forward to becoming the bionic woman with permanent lenses that make me 20/20 vision, man. But until then, these are my new glasses, you guys. I'm having a hard time getting used to them because they're not quite right. And it's because of the cataracts. There's nothing that gets right. My vision is just weird all the time. But I wanted to share my new glasses with you. And thank you, Warby Parker in Walnut Creek, California, for the great work that you do there. I want to thank you for my new glasses. They arrived. I think they're quite fashionable and wonderful, but because I'm doing a close-up thing right now, I need to take them off. So I'm going to take them off, but I wanted to share them with you guys. Oh God, Micheal, you're so silly. All right. As you know, I am a fan of one of my mentors, Steve Shallenberger, and Rob and Steve, trained in Do What Matters Most. And I've been thinking a lot about that training because I'm pondering, becoming certified in teaching it because I just have found it to be such an asset in my life. One, the pre-week planning process has created a world for me where when things come up, because things always come up, I have the ability to pivot and adapt a little bit more easily than I did before. And these are good leadership tools, but they're also I was thinking about it yesterday. I was in a meeting yesterday afternoon with a group of folks here in the city of Berkeley. And it was just really amazing, the conversations we were having. And we were visioning about what we thought the city of Berkeley might need as it related to healthcare and all of those things. So let me explain. when Do What Matters Most is one of those programs, and I don't like to even call it a program because it's not a pyramid thing or a program. It's a teaching of wisdom of individuals in the community, in the human community, that have zoomed in and zeroed in to these concepts. Now, they're taught by Tony Robbins, Robin Roberts. They're taught by all these different people in different ways because we all learn differently, right? That's who we are. But I chose to learn from Rob and Steve Shallenberger, Do What Matters Most. And this is the book, okay? And because ASEB has been going through a major transition in looking at our systems and looking at how we are and how we present in the community, an overhaul of staff, just all brand new staff. And so we're onboarding and training constantly now. The pandemic, we're coming out of the pandemic, and what does that mean to the services that we provide? And all along the way, we have looked at everything that we do and ripped it apart and said, how can we do it better? Well, the team that came on board, and I'm in the process of ordering more of the books so that I can give them. This has become a sort of required learning at Life is a Sacred Journey, but also at Alzheimer's Services of the East Bay. We just decided that this was one of the ways that we could really create a philosophy on how to have one, balance in your life. So you can see how this crosses over to caregiving, balance in your life. Plan a little bit more, vision a little bit more, be a little bit more strategic as you are looking at the different aspects of what you have to do on a day-to-day basis. So how does this fit in to being a caregiver? When you do your pre-week planning, well, let me start from the beginning. Under Do What Matters Most, you are looking at all of your roles. Let's talk about what those roles may be. And if you're joining us this morning on any mode where you can write them in, what are your roles that you're living into and in life? You know, you're a mother, so you can, under family, there's a section where you may be a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, a cousin. And that may be your blood family, and you could stretch that all the way out to the different relationships that exist in a family, or chosen family. Chosen family are the family members that you choose, that your ride or die. Shout out to Auntie Kay, my ride or die for over 30 years. Okay, so you can those folks, chosen family. We talk about that, and now it's being recognized in many areas of care and all of that. We all have a chosen family. So under family, you put all those categories or all those roles that you play, and then you may move into work or career. Work or career, I choose to call it career versus work, because work is such a negative term in the sense that it sounds like drudgery. And while some of us are forced to work, and I did at one point in my career, drudgery jobs that are overwhelming physically and mentally, and you don't really feel like it's a positive 100% experience. But then you move into the place where you realize you're getting something out of it, whatever that, that's something. I know I learned just to have the tenacity to stick in to accomplish a goal that was in the future, which now I realize there's some of the steps in Do What Matters Most. But yeah, so then you put that stuff. What do you look at right now? I'm looking at the season of what's next. What do I have to learn? What tools do I need to put in my career box that I might have to pull out later on down the road? retirement is not a word or a concept that fits for me, but maybe for some of you, it's retirement. And you want to figure out how you're going to live that out. Is it going to be through volunteerism? Is it going to be maybe having a part-time job? And then is it going to be related to the career that you have? Do you have to get new skills in order to live out that dream? All those things. Doing the research, sitting down, if you want to create a vision board around it or have a conversation with people that are already doing it. I'm really fascinated about becoming an expat. I don't know what that means in the true sense of the word. So actually, if there's anybody out there that's an expat and would love to talk to us more about that here at Life is a Sacred Journey, you don't have to actually, I think a lot of times people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to disclose, because it's where they are is so wonderful. And we know, when we start bringing more of our American dollars into places, we change the economy a little bit. And yes, for the good, but sometimes it gets a little over the top and then it changes it for the people that live there. So we have to be careful too. But again, what does that mean if that's in your journey? Are you planning for it? So a shout out to all our expats. If you're out there, we would love to have a conversation with you live here at Life is a Sacred Journey. If you know of anyone that's an expat in your life and would love to join us to give us the ins and outs of how they did it, we would greatly appreciate your support. And all right, so then we move into this area where, okay, so we have our roles, career, family. You may want to break it even down to, I know I have multiple pathways, like in the church, I have multiple roles. And so maybe church might be, or spiritual life or that. And then you might want to break down things, self-care. Like I tomorrow I'm going for a massage. I haven't been for one in a long time, and I realized it the other day. And so I'm planning to go and get a good massage and come back home and relax. It's my first Saturday free. I pray I haven't forgotten anything, or it's something that didn't meet my calendar, but if it didn't, and I'll do a quick review today, then tomorrow is a me day, and I plan to take advantage of it. I know I have some things to do around the house, but me. So what does your me day look like? And that becomes a part of your annual sort of snapshot of what you're looking at in each of those areas of your life. And then as the weeks go on, you want to then plan based on those things. So, I have a plan. I want to get better at being in contact with my family and friends and those that I love, but the challenge for me is that there's this 3-hour time difference in some areas, 9, 12. And I feel like, I don't know when to call, when's the right time. They might be at work, they might be, doing something. And so I let that fear, remember we talked about fear, and fear comes in all shapes and sizes. So I let that fear get in my way, and I don't make the phone call and I don't send the text, because I don't want to be interrupting them in moments, because I know that happens to me sometimes, and my phone goes off and I'm in a meeting or on a Zoom call, and I try to be present in every place that I am. So, but that said, that's an excuse for Micheal Pope. And I've decided when I feel like texting, and I know it's maybe during the day and people might be at work or something, then I'll text. If it's a time of the day that I know might be a little bit more open, I'm going to call, even if it's just for a second. Or I recently, and don't laugh at me. I recently found out that in the area where you send text messages, there's a little microphone, and you can send a verbal message. Go figure. I should have known that, but I don't really look at my phone that much. I really don't. That's why when people say they called me and it's during the day, because of the environment that I work in, my phone is usually not on me. It's in my pocketbook. And so, and because the staff can't have their phones out on the floor when they're with the program participants, as their leader and their facilitator, I follow suit. So I don't have my phone out and hanging off of me. So I don't see it. A lot of times I don't see the messages and things until the end of the day, or even after I've gotten home to open up my phone and all of that. So that, all of that, meaning I have to figure out a better way to be a better family member. You know what I mean? Now that I'm a grandmother, and that's another added thing that I'm very excited about. I want to do it right. I want to form some great memories because I'm counting on those memories. Yeah. So, I want to be present in that relationship, but I also want to be present in the relationships that currently exist with my cousins and my auntie and my daughter, my son. I mean, my friends that I go long periods of time without speaking to or even sending a text to. So that's in my goal for family, to do better at that, and then to measure it when I do my pre-week planning. Did I reach out? Did I try? Did I send a card? Did I say I love you? I mean, because sometimes it's a simple text just saying I love you. So pre-week planning allows you to plan for those things. And again, sometimes we say, well, I don't need plans for those kinds of things. And I'm here to tell you, yeah, you do. Because what we think is a moment ends up being a day. I just watched a movie by M. Night Shyamalan. I like him actually. And I probably pronounced his name wrong, and pardon me, sir. But the movie is called Old, and these people end up on an island paradise thingy, whatever, and they're a part of an experiment where they grow old by, I think it's 20 years, 10 years, something like that, like in a matter of a day. And so, of course, the older people die off. And of course, we get, we have one person that has dementia, and it gets worse because it's happening so rapidly because of where the time continuum on this side of the island. All of that to say, time is really like that. And I think that's what he was trying to tell us, is that time is fleeting, and it goes by very quickly. And even though we think, oh, I'll have time to do that, we always end up going, I wish I had. It is the human condition of life. And so with pre-week planning, you're looking at time, future time, the next 7 days, and you're looking at it and you're planning to make something happen. And so what happens then is it moves into from a thought process into an actual action. And so whether it be for work, whether it be for family, whether it be if you're a caregiver, to say, I'm going to take a half hour. I just had this conversation with my support group folks on Monday. A half hour, every day out of a 24-hour period for yourself is absolutely life or death. Why? Because without that break, without that taking care of, and it can just be sitting down in a room, reading a newspaper, reading a book, staring out of a window. It is something that calms your soul, something that helps you to focus inward a little bit and not so much focused on the care of your loved one. And again, does that mean that you're ignoring them? No, and no, and no. You have to give yourself permission to move into this space where you have to care for yourself. Even parenting, I've told parents, and I was thinking about it this morning, that, yes, it's important to spend as much time as you can with your children to build those memories, and so you should. But you should also find time to relax and grow so that you have more to give. You see, that's the whole thing, is that when you fuel that inner stuff, then you have more to give. When you heal that inner stuff, you have more to give. But the more that inner stuff goes unspoken to, unrealized, not pondered or discerned, then it grows and grows and grows. And then something happens in your life, and the next thing you know, you're upset. You can't take it anymore. You're worried. Something happens. The person you're caring for then becomes someone that you really are upset with, because their behavior is creating a lot of challenges. So my whole thing with that is to make sure. I just realized I didn't do this. We've got to make sure that we're moving forward and that we're creating a space in our lives that, yes, caregiving is hard, and yes, we couldn't, there's a lot of books out there, but the real playbook on your unique situation has not been written. And so taking care of yourself, doing your pre-week planning, looking at your life, looking at where do I fit in time for self, and not do it in a way where you feel guilty and that your loved one is being neglected, is a healthy balance for every caregiver and for everyone in their lives, whether it be that you're a parent, a grandparent, working. How do you have balance, work and life balance, all those things. And we learned a lot from the pandemic. And so taking those teachings that the pandemic put forth and really using them to navigate our journey of life. So that's the story. That's it. And I hope that you read this book. I'll have Steve and maybe Rob together on, but Do What Matters Most. Whoop, 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 there we go. And it is a great book, and it takes you through the more in-depth process in which will help you to do the things that you feel you need to do in life. But take advantage of tools and like Do What Matters Most to keep yourself moving forward as a caregiver, but also as someone just living this journey of life. So we're going to do a couple of things before we close. And I know I've been thinking about this again. How do we make a difference? So I'm going to close with, how do we make a difference? Sometimes people believe that and compare themselves to other. You know, we have so many grandiose personalities out there and people that are doing amazing things in life. And they're the people that are on the news and being interviewed and on the cover of magazines. And those are the people who are thrust forward as the doers and change makers of the world. And yes, they are. And sometimes it's because they have money or access or resources to things that make it possible for them to do these big slam dunks in the world. And therefore, they get the notoriety of it. But at the end of the day, all of us, all of you are making a difference in the world. You're making a difference when you say good morning. You're making a difference when you say thank you. When you're making a difference when you say, have a great day. You're making a difference when you smile. You're making a difference when you think before you snap at another person. You're making a difference when you show up in the world as if you understand that the person across the table, across the aisle, across the street, outside the window, might be going through something that you could not possibly understand. Why? Maybe you're blessed to have a life where you have money. And when something happens, you can throw money at it that fixes it in a way where it no longer is a problem for you. You may be a person that has incredible emotional intelligence. So when stuff happens, you learn to ebb and flow and move through the tide of life. You may be a person that has a chosen family and or blood family that would never see you fail. And so when you do stumble and fall, they're there to pick you up and to guide you on your way. You may be a person that has been blessed to have a higher education where you can put your letters and numbers or whatever it is next to your name, and people respect you because of that. You may be a person that is younger than other people, and people love youth, but yet are frightened and turn away from people who are aging or aged among us. You may be a person that has a skin color that no one will look at you side-eye or grab their purse or think ill of you of any stereotype. You may be a person that has privilege in many, many ways. If you have a bank account and you have money in it, even if it's only $50, that's a privilege. These are all things that we say we work really hard for. We go, I did the work, and I did the work. Yes. But you know, the other day what I thought of is that's living life. And some of us just get to do the work in a way with a lot of support and help, maybe from the very beginning, from the time we're born. I've been thinking about it because I know that for the rest of my life, there is nothing that my granddaughter will want or need that I will not make possible for her. There is a granddaughter being born right now somewhere where her grandmother cannot make that statement. That's privilege. So I think we need to stop right now, stop the argument, stop the abuse of each other, and let's get to the work of healing this world. This world is crying out to be healed. And it starts with each of us. I am broken as broken can be. I walk into the world a broken, as Jill Interante said, an open, broken heart. But every day I try to be loving and caring. Some days I fail. And it's because I carry a history of pain and and no amount of counseling. I've finally figured it out. The counseling is so that I learn how to behave, that I learn how to navigate the tools that counseling has helped me with, but it doesn't mean that the pain has gone away. And sometimes I react to that pain through the messaging and the words of others. And we all do that. And we ask for grace when we do that. We ask for forgiveness when we do that. Or sometimes we don't. Because sometimes, friends, sometimes a little bit of anger and a little bit of speaking your mind and being seen is appropriate. It's just the world we live in. And it is who we are as the human beasties that walk the earth. And so as you go out this weekend and think about others, the others around you, the other people around you, the other humanity around you, I'm going to ask you to start thinking of them as members of your family. Think of them as a human family that you have membership in. And to be a member, you just have to be a little bit more loving and a little bit more caring. And nobody will know what that means to you because you can choose what that means. Is it a smile? Is it a good morning? Is it a I love you? Is it a leaning in and just bowing your head? I used to love that. I used to watch my dad do that to other men, actually, and tip his hat to people and tip his head, when and I do this to people, when I went to Bali, that just resonated with me. So when I see people and I walk away, this is what I do because that's what I was taught to do there. So what is it? What is it that you want to see the world be? And if you were the center of that, not meaning from an egotistical place, but your vibration was the vibration that would change everything, then you're making a difference. You're making a difference in your workplace. You're making a difference. So begin by charting your course. In life so far, sometimes things have gone not the way I've wanted them to go. I charted a course, but I got blown off course. But then I got back on it. And then I knew what I needed to move forward. And so what do you need to move forward today in your life? Who do you need to get around you to help you feel good about yourself and the journey that you're on? I don't know who that person is or who those individuals or the book or whatever you need to kind of be that spark, that light, like the candle back there. What do you need to spark that light in you so that you can go forward in this world, whether you're a caregiver, whether you're a parent, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're this, whether you're that. It doesn't matter that we finally get to this place that it's about being human, and it's about being human together. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that day. All right, my friends, I'm going to do a couple of ifs for you because we're getting a lot of likes around this. And I love it. I love it. So thank you so much. Again, share, okay? And follow. Here's the question, and I know there's a lot of my friends out there that have the degrees and so forth, but this is a good one. If you were to receive one honorary degree in your lifetime, which university would you prefer and for what accomplishment? Ooh, I love it. I love it. Let's read it again. If you were to receive one honorary degree in your lifetime, which university would you prefer that you got it from? And for what accomplishment? Write it in the chat. Write it in your journal. And if it were me, I would love to get an honorary degree from, I don't know. I would love to get an honorary degree for being a social change agent. I don't know if there's such a thing, but for really impacting, just plant a seed, that I planted a seed that impacted the social consciousness just a tiny bit. So I'd like an honorary degree for that. And whatever, I don't care what university, whatever university wants to give it to me. Spelman, that's where I'd like to get it from. All right. So if that were you, where would you like to get your honorary degree, and what would you like it to be for accomplishing what? Okay. Here we go. Uh-oh. I'm not going to read that one. Here's a good one, though, and the one that I'm not going to tell you, but it was political, so that's why I'm not reading it, okay? If everything in the world had to have the same color, what color would you want it to be? And we're not talking this color, skin color. We're talking about color. Look, think of the spectrum. I don't think I would like that. But if I had to choose, and they're asking me to choose, if everything in the world had to have the same color, what color would you want it to be? Oh my gosh. Probably, oh no, I don't know. Maybe blue. because blue is kind of a calming, but like a powdery kind of blue. I don't know. I wouldn't want the world to be one color, but if I had to choose, it would probably be blue. But a nice like ocean blue. But then I get sick of it after a while because I change a lot. All right. So let's do the other one, the last one. The last one is the reverse of that. If everything in the world had to have the same odor, what scent would you want it to be? If everything in the world had to have the same odor, what scent would you want it to be? And lavender. For me, it would be lavender. Again, the if questions come from If Questions for the Game of Life by Evelyn, McFarlane, and James Saywell. I have no idea where I got this book, but I love it. So the ifs come from that. So friends, we always end Life is a Sacred Journey this way. If you're out there and you're feeling sad and depressed and lonely and you're thinking that taking your life is what you want to do or should do, or the voices in your head are telling you that you don't matter, that people don't like you and you shouldn't be here. Oh man, pick up a phone, find a phone, dial 988, text 988, and talk to someone who will hear you, see you, and give you and guide you to the resources that you need to make it through this dark time. You matter. You matter. You matter. Life is a Sacred Journey wants you to know, I want you to know, you matter. And even though the world can be very hard and people can be extremely cruel and mean, and that you may have gone through something that I and many of us could never imagine, and the pain that you're carrying is something that is real and not imagined. And so help is out there for you. 988, 988, 988. If you belong to an organization, church, synagogue, a place of faith, a place where people gather, don't assume that you know what's happening with every individual that comes through the door. Make a sign that has 988 on it and let people know that that's the suicide hotline that they can call, text, to get support. I think it's important that we let people know that their life matters. Even those individuals, those humanity, those siblings, those friends, our community that is living on the fringes that you may never see and you do not know, they still deserve our help. So, okay, friends, that's been another pondering of Life is a Sacred Journey. Write in the chat. Let us know how you feel about our ponderings. Let us know how you feel about us, not meaning us, meaning me. Don't go in on me, because I am who I am. And while I love everybody, I don't like being picked on. Nobody does. But let us know if there's a topic that you would like us to explore, or an author that you would like us to try to get on the show, and just, reach out. Let us know you're out there, and thank you. Thank you for taking 45 minutes out of your morning every Friday. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may your life be a sacred journey, and may you find that place in your heart, your soul, whatever you want to call it, that guides you in a way that you live your life well, and that you find the joy that lives inside of you, and so that you can share it with others. Have a wonderful week, and go out and pet a cat, pet a dog, and hug a tree, because you'll feel better for doing it. Peace.